tip number one that I would say is to actually own, acknowledge, appreciate, claim that you do have a unique gift. Because you see, I have conversations with people that just say, oh, yeah, no, there's nothing special about me. I don't have any unique gifts. I'm not very good at anything. You
Yeah.
do. Every single one of us has something that only we can bring to the table. Only we get to bring to the collective, to humanity. And
Yeah.
so that is tip number one, is to don't get caught up in any kind of inner critic dialogue that says it's not there or you're not that special, right?
And I think I love that because I actually wrote down open your eyes was my thing,
Mm.
which is
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
welcome, welcome, welcome. Ooh, welcome to the Deliciously Motivated Mindset conversation with Debz and Moira. Hi, Moira.
Hello, dear Deb. Hello, listeners.
Hi, Moira and listeners and whew, the internet. Yay, what a day we're going to have.
It
Can't wait
is
to start
a
this
goodie. Yes.
conversation. Yeah, totally, totally. I just want to, one of the things we do, if you've been with us before, thank you for coming back. If you haven't been with us before, thank you for coming and thank you for finding us, however you found us. That's amazing. And we trust that you're going to get some value out of today and you're going to write great notes. You're going to learn lots and you're going to come back to our next podcast and listen to the next one.
Yep.
So
Yep.
thank you. One of the things we do every podcast is conversation is we check in on our PEMS, PEMS, which is your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And all you do is you rate yourself a 0 to 10 number. And a 10 is discombobulation. That's the nicest word that Moira has come up with.
I love that word.
It's a good word. It explains it.
It does. Yep.
You've got mud up to you, whatever and you can't move. You're just completely discombobulated, can't turn left or right. Like the ones when you're 10, and you also know when you're beyond a 10. I do have to
Yes.
emphasize that. We know those
Yes.
ones as
Been
well.
there too.
We just try and keep it to a 0 to 10. But, and saying if you're beyond 10, write that down. You're going to write your number down. Halfway through, you're going to check in again and you're going to check your number. And our intention is to bring you closer to the smaller number, which is the 0. And I'm pointing up there. I don't know where my 0 is up there. But the 0 is Zen. It's
East out. Yep.
just present, poised, no thought for left, right, forward, back. You're just present. And when I say you're present, you're literally in your body, present with what you have right now.
Yep.
And our intention is to bring you to that 0. Now, you might be sitting at a 0 now, and there might be things that we're going to share that might trigger you, that might wake you up, and it might take you to a different number, and it might move you the other way. So clearly, our intention is to get you to that 0. So you're going to write that number down, and then we're going to get into our tip. So grab yourself some note-taking device and write that number down yourself now. And Moira, let's check in with you. Where are you on a 0 to 10?
I'm going to say 1.5. How about?
I'm a 1.
Yeah. There you go.
So, well, let's see if we can get to the 0.
Let's see.
I'm looking forward to this title because this conversation, confidently sharing your unique gifts. because you're going to come up with conflict with this, but you're also being able to do it with love. So let's kick it off. Grab your note-taking device. You've written your number down. Now let's go, Moira. What would be tip number 1 that you would love to share of confidently sharing your unique gifts? This is just us.
Just
This is
us.
us every time.
Yep,
This is
yep,
every
yep.
time.
You know, I think tip number 1 that I would say is to actually own, acknowledge, appreciate, claim that you do have a unique gift. Because you see, I have conversations with people that just say, oh, yeah, no, there's nothing special about me. I don't have any unique gifts. I'm not very good at anything. You
Yeah.
do. Every single one of us has something that only we can bring to the table. Only we get to bring to the collective, to humanity. And
Yeah.
so that is tip number 1, is to don't get caught up in any kind of inner critic dialogue that says it's not there or you're not that special. Right?
And I think I love that, because I actually wrote down open your eyes was my thing, which is exactly that. One of the things I laugh at with this is we did a group yesterday and we got a couple new people who joined the group. And so I said to everybody, I said, look, let's do a little introduction about ourselves. Let's do a little introduction about ourselves so they know who's in the group.
Mhm.
And I sat there and I was like, wow, listening to these people, my attendees on this group, they so squashed their unique gifts.
Mm.
And I called them on it when we got to the end. I said, now, one of the women, she's a genius. You can literally talk to her, or even just open your mouth and start talking, and she'll go, I know what you're going to say. And she will be able to resolve your physical issue. You can go, oh, I've had this problem done. And she'll go, oh, this is this. She literally can find that stuff that quickly in her head. I mean, I love it. But she didn't share that.
Wow.
And I listened to everybody and I'm like, wow. And I was very tempted, if we were time-wise, to go, you know what, right. I want you, Moira, to introduce Deborah. You tell me what.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because listening to other people share stuff, you're left with, oh, is that me? Wow, that's me. That's what they think of me.
Right.
And then you've got to own it. But this is exactly confidently sharing your unique gifts. Others will always introduce you
Mhm.
something different that you introduce yourself.
Mhm.
And hearing what other people say about you, and that, wow, she's really good at this. And when I said that to her, I said, and she went, oh yeah, I do that too. You do that too. That's 90% of your day. You do that. You can,
Right.
but she had so dismissed it.
Right.
I was floored with it yesterday, and I called everybody on it. And I'm definitely going to go back and address it with them, because it's made them think about, right, what would you say about that person? Because it just really, own, like Moira's just said, own it, acknowledge it, and appreciate your gifts.
Mhm.
And then you can share them with
Mhm.
love.
Absolutely. So sometimes it's an important, and I like what you just said about how would you, letting somebody else introduce you. But sometimes, and this is something that I've actually encouraged people to do, is that if I say to somebody, what's your unique gift or your unique flavor, and oh no, I have nothing. I will ask them, what do people tell you that they really appreciate about you? It could
Yeah.
be you make the best ever apple pie, right?
Mm.
So people are actually informing us of our unique gifts because we show up without it, but we may not be.
Hear it.
Yeah.
Or go, oh, that's a crock. That's not true. That's me in the old day. You're holding on. No, they still. And the other beautiful thing about that is people ask you questions. So they ask questions, which is around your genius, your unique gifts. Like, how do I do that? Like my daughter, if she's cooking, she's not going to ask me. She's not going to ask me, but she'll go to my mum. There's no way, mum. How many? What's 2/3 of a cup in grams? Google it. But she will ask my mother because my mum will be able to answer that. And mum's more patient with that stuff because I'm like, I don't want to learn to cook. I don't want to know no, God, it just doesn't light me up. So I think the other thing is confidently sharing your unique gifts. My tip is acknowledge others for their gifts as well. Actually, I'm not good at this, but ask Nana or Google
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
or whatever. So acknowledge if it's not your thing, don't try and make it your thing. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah, it
Does
does.
that?
It does. Because confidently sharing your unique gifts is about saying, well, this is what I love to do. This is coming from
Yeah.
me. But here's something else that just occurred to me about this idea of owning that you do have unique gifts, is that sometimes sometimes all the time it comes so naturally.
Sometimes, and then your head goes, hang on.
Hang on, it's all the time.
Yeah.
It's so natural to us that sometimes we think, what, just this? Right?
My
And
hands have
that's
just gone
she's
to
like,
me like, yes.
what do you mean? Doesn't everybody do that? I know for myself
You know,
that one of my gifts is that I have a very calming presence. That I actually just sitting talking to me, doesn't matter what we're talking about, I will actually calm your nervous system.
Mhm.
Now, listeners, if you've listened to my voice, you probably already know that. But it took a really long time for me to own that as one of my gifts, because I said, but I'm just being me. I'm just talking. I'm just, fill in the blanks. I'm just. But that is
Yeah.
actually one of my unique gifts. That's the thing about owning it, right?
It is. It's owning it. And I laugh at that because I will go random places and people will just share their problems with me and I won't even tell them what I
Yeah,
do
me
for
too. Me
anything.
too.
Literally within 2 minutes, someone shared their whole life story with me. And it's not alcohol and juice. I have to say that, oh, you're a fresh person to talk to. It is. And then I walk away and I'll go, wow, that was an interesting conversation. That person's got some stuff going on. And my family or friends will be like, what they just shared? And I'm like, yeah, they shared the stuff's going on. I wouldn't need to share it. They're like, how do you do that? And that's exactly it. And I'm like, well, don't you do that? No one talks to me when I've got resting bitch face that they call. I know. And like, I've got that too, but people still get past that and they share.
Yeah.
And it's that taking ownership of your gifts, whether you want it or not.
Yep.
Whether you want that gift or not, take it as a gift.
Acknowledge it and take it as a gift. And
Yeah.
you're funny because
Throw it
how
away.
many times this has happened to me so many times, where somebody, random stranger, is telling me their entire life story and they'll say to me, I don't know why I don't normally open up like this. I don't normally tell people. I just feel compelled to tell you.
I bought with eggs, EGGSs are
Eggs.
very expensive at the moment. Yeah, egg. I said
Mhm.
eggs, but I was thinking people are like, what did she say? Egg. As Moira
Egg.
goes, I said, just worded it differently. As this woman locally sells fresh eggs.
Mhm.
And so I'm up for that. I'm all up for that. They're cheaper,
Definitely.
they're nicer than other gifts. I'm all up for that. She's like, oh, I've had 3 laid this morning. I'm down there getting out the 3. Anyway, I went there the other. I said to my partner, I'll be a couple minutes. She's only like a 30-second drive from me. 3/4 of an hour later, I come back and she's like, are you okay? Where have you been? I went, oh, she's got a few problems. And literally my partner just face palmed her head and just went, of course. I didn't even think that's what you'd be doing. She was worried that I'd been knocked off my bike, in my car or something 30 seconds down the road, 3/4 of an hour. She's like, she must be. I wonder if she's okay. Didn't bother to leave the house, just for the record, didn't bother to leave the house and go down there and see if I was okay. So you really weren't that bothered by me. But it was just like this woman just opened up and shared all this stuff with me.
Yep.
And then at the end, she went, I don't even know you. I am so sorry I did. And I'm like, I'll let you tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a stressologist. I actually help. And she went, oh, that makes so much sense. She said, because as soon as you pulled up, it just came out. And I don't,
Yeah.
and that's exactly it. With the
Yep.
Moira, you just like, yeah, that's what I was doing. And because that's a gift. Now it's a gift. I would say, I don't want 90, well, actually I do. 90% of the time you probably don't want it. If you're going out and you don't want to see that gift and people share something like, I'm here having a social event. I'm just coming down to pick up eggs. I'm just like, don't dump your stuff on me. it's a gift I've been honored with,
Mhm.
and I accept it, and I've got it with gratitude, and I'm thankful. So I will continue to have that gift until I feel no need for it.
Mm.
And that's the way I feel. So when you get a gift, it's respect it. Because if you listen to Moira's voice, hers is very different to mine. I don't have a calming voice. I don't believe I have a calming voice. I don't believe I can hold energy.
Mhm.
I can hold space.
Mhm.
But Moira's voice is very different to mine. And I love her voice. So I'm not going to try and steal Moira's gift and go, I need that. I just acknowledge that's her gift and my gift's different.
Mhm.
And that's the
But that is the truth, is that even if somebody saw my gift and wanted to take it, in fact, this has actually happened.
really
It's like, I can't teach you. I
no.
can't teach you. Because it's not my gift to give away. It's my gift to present. Because remember, and I've said this so many times, as part of our own life purpose, every one of us, we all have a mission, a life purpose. We signed up as souls to do this, to play this game. And our responsibility, number one, is we got to know ourselves. You know that, know thyself. So we
Yeah.
cultivate and we get clear on here. I got this gift and I'm good at that. And I love it when I go over this. And then here's areas that I don't like. And we can see gifts in other people, but just because you appreciate, like think about going to an art gallery. I can go to an art gallery and see amazing pieces of art and go, wow, do you think of the gift of being able to produce something like that? There's no way I could emulate it, but I can appreciate that gift, that artistry, that creativity. And to the degree that I see it, I open up what my flavor is of that creativity. Do you know what I mean?
And I think I love that. I love that because the key I got out of that was my summing up is own it in your form.
Yes. I said
So
flavor, but yeah, absolutely.
yeah. And so you can see the creativity in that. You can see I'm not a painter and that just drains my soul, but I can definitely appreciate others. And then if I'm feeling like subservient or
Less than.
less
Yeah,
than,
less,
that's I
yeah.
was trying to find the nice word that I can say in here. um, then look at it, where is it in your own form? Look at where are you creating, because not everyone can paint a picture.
Yeah.
You know,
Or play a
not
concerto, or yeah.
what even I don't even know what a concerto is. So there you go. I can't play that if I don't know what that is. But in saying that, find out where you can play that form. But what does it look like for you? So it looks like being creative and be able to think on the spot. Okay, so where can I get creative on the spot? Podcast. We got the title 20 minutes ago or 15 minutes ago, and here we are talking about it.
Yeah.
That's my creativity. I can find it in my form. And what's your form is what's important to you. Your value is what's important to you. And then you haven't dismissed anyone else. You haven't been subservient to anyone else. You actually just feels like, you know what, this is part of my gift to be able to confidently share your unique gifts. Because your unique gifts are, when we say unique, they're not different. They're just different to certain people. Like if we go creativity, painting a picture, the unique gifts is okay, I'm creative in thinking on my feet, wording on my feet. I'm creative in cooking, or I'm creative in whatever that is. Whatever that
Parenting
looks
my
like.
child.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, something as simple as that. Laugh. Simple as that. But own it in your form.
I really like that. Own it in your own form or flavor.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but you know that in how you were describing, like, and the next tip related to that would be to find your flow with it. Because if you see like, okay, so how does creativity, what flavor of creativity are you? Then find your flow with it and bring it into your expression.
Mm.
right? To
Well,
acknowledge it. That builds your confidence.
I was just going to say that's part of actually having that confidence is
Mhm.
actually, you know what, this is me. I
Yeah.
can do this.
Yeah.
Holy gamoly, I can do this. I can. Oh, like I can. And if that's what you need, that to
Yeah.
allow you to do that. Because when you're certain, so I know with certainty, if someone presents a problem to me, I can resolve that problem.
Mhm.
I can bet I have absolute certainty that you present a problem to me and I can resolve that problem in your head, to move from your head to your heart, because it's sitting in your head and I can move that problem to your heart,
Mhm.
which is I have absolute certainty. So when people come in and say certain things, so what I'm trying to say is be aware of outside sources.
Mhm.
But when you're certain of what you can deliver, you don't have to argue with the keyboard warriors, or you don't have to argue with people about selling your unique, I'll put my quotation marks up, your unique gift, because it's just certain. And this goes with your finding your flow, because it's not challenging you that you have to stop and check in and do this and then go, oh, take half a day out to mentally reflect on this and this thing. No, you don't have to do that. You just go, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. Like, no, I've got this. And I know with certainty that's what I'm great at. So but don't waste your time.
So something that I thought of while you were describing that is when we really land in the awareness and the knowledge of our own unique gifts and we confidently share them. The tip that I want to bring in here is to be very mindful of the propensity to seek approval from other people or to people please. Because
Yeah.
truth be told, my gifts are not for everybody. Deb,
Yeah.
your gifts are not for everybody, but they are for the people that you're here to serve. They're here for the people who are ready to hear it. And so the thing is to not feel like I just really, and I can't remember where this came from, is that this idea of I am not for everybody. But by me standing
love that.
confidently,
Just even saying that, I'm not I know with certainty not everyone's going to like you. Not
Yeah.
everyone likes me, and not everyone
100%,
loves me. And that's okay.
that's okay.
And
Yes,
I
so you
think,
don't let it undermine
yeah,
what you're doing, right?
yeah, there are people who don't like you, and there are people who don't like whatever,
Yeah.
but that's okay. That's okay. I don't have to have the stuff they throw at me and attach myself to it.
Yeah. But I mean, if somebody throws something at you, then they're like even more so that they're not your people.
Like, okay, I'll just dodge that, duck under that, and
Like,
let it.
yeah, bye.
Yeah. I think when you're certain, others don't interfere.
Yeah.
The more, like I know, one of Dr. John DeMartini, the person with the most certainty rules the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that, because it really just goes, and when I say game, I'm talking about the game of life, because life is a game. Every day is a game, not the game of being your ego driven versus whatever.
No, it's a game of life. Yeah.
The game of life. So when you have certainty, people just don't interfere. They're like, what's no point? They try, and then you're like, not a worthy opponent, not worth it.
Yeah. No, because that's you showing up with complete confidence. Certainty says, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And that's such an important part. So I think this conversation is that it's two parts that we're kind of unpacking here. Number one, naming and claiming your unique gifts, and do you need to cultivate them more? Do you need to own them more? Do you need to maybe even be introspective and unearth all of them? Because more than likely we've got more than just one.
Yeah. Well, I was, yeah. And I think definitely, which brings me into my tip was past stories.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that is my unique gifts is when I was younger, I used to play softball. I think you say baseball over your way, it's same thing to me.
You say
Um,
softball here too.
probably, yeah. And I was a great catcher. I was an exceptional catcher, and I could spot from the way people walked up. I could see how they were going to hit, what they were going to do. Like I could read the play like that. Now, and I could also squat down and squat back up very quickly,
Right.
throw the ball to first base, second, third, whatever, very quick and get it out there. Now I can't. And I have to say now I have no desire to squat down, spread my legs, keep an eye on everybody, take on all their personas, watch the play, and do that. I don't have a desire to. So my past stories of who I was is not who I am now. So I've let that unique gift go. And I'm okay with that. So I think what I want to say is the past stories, be aware of, oh, back in the day I used to be good at that. Yeah, well, you're not now. Okay, like back in the day you probably could squat down and squat back up at whatever, but I'm just, squat down doesn't really appeal to me to squat back up, bounce like the way I used to. But acknowledging your past, and you've changed over the years, your physical's changed, your mental's changed. So be aware of those past stories of who you were back then.
I think that something that's really important to see there, though, is that there's still a thread of your gifts from that version of you that's here. It just gets translated as we evolve.
You're
You
right,
see?
because if I say that, if I go, what was that? I could read the play. So if I
Yes,
was to sum that
it's
up, I could
exactly
say,
what I heard in you.
yeah, I could read the play, and I can read the play now.
Yeah.
But it's different. So I guess it's that creativity in a different form. But yeah, actually, that's a reframe.
So it's a reframe, but I think that to your point, we do need to be mindful of past stories so that we don't get too rigid and too, I was, you and I were talking about this, about me changing up how I look after my body. And one of the things I did a course on releasing weight and getting fitter. And one of the things in a reading that I did was be mindful of the goal that you set for yourself. Because oftentimes if we're going to go on a health kick, and I might say, oh, I need to get back into the same jeans that I wore when I was in my 20s.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciously-motivated-mindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciously-motivated-mindset.com/gift.
Well, I shouldn't laugh. I just shouldn't laugh at all. But if you're in your 50s and you've still got your 20-year-old jeans, I mean, well, actually, fashion's probably come back to that anyway.
Well,
30 years later. So I'm
true.
saying that, like, you've still got those jeans from back then. You need to change your fashion, is what I'm thinking. But actually, as I think that fashion does change, and we go back to our staples.
Yeah, but no, what I mean is that, like, I'm thinking about the story that you shared, that you have to do your deep squats that to the ability that you had back then, but that's not based on the holistic viewpoint of where you are now. But it's
No.
to own the energy, right? And that's what we were just unpacking, is the energy is that you could read the energy of what's going on around you.
Right, you're right, yeah.
Right. And so similar for me too, is that piece that I shared with you, that part of my unique gift is that my energy is calming and soothing, and I help people listen to their own intuition and actually unpack the solutions that they already have within them. But I've been doing that in one form or another since I was a kid.
Mm.
And so that's what I'm saying, is that my unique gifts have been evolving, and they've been becoming more discernible and more of something that I can actually show up and say, yeah, this is what it is. But it's an
Yeah.
evolution. And that's what I'm saying to our listeners, is that you build confidence when you really keep coming back into your own sense of flow, your own sense of, oh, look at the things I love to do. I love to do this. This lights me up. And
Mm.
and ask yourself questions though too. Things like, if you weren't getting paid for something, would you do it anyway?
Yeah, I love those ones. Yeah.
Because that's such an important part too. Is that and that to me, that helps you come into the look what I get to do kind of piece. And that really informs you that you are sharing your unique gifts. You're accessing your power and your inner light and sharing it, right?
And what you just shared then, I just smiled in my head, because that was an HR question I used to ask when I worked for the council. We used to employ people, I'd say, and the panel would just roll their eyes at me like, Deborah, you can't ask that question, but I would. And I'd say, if I gave you $1 million, what would you do with it?
Okay.
And if that person is going to say, and you're employing them to be a personal assistant, for example,
Mhm.
I remember one person just saying, "Oh, I'd travel the world. I'd just travel the world. I'd be out of Christchurch, which was where I worked, city. I'd be out of. Oh, I'd leave this place. I'd do that." And it's like, okay, thank you very much. That was like, and I would go, thank you very much. That's an end of interview. Because if you're going to employ people, you want people to say, oh, I'd love to be part of this. And if I had $1 million, I would just invest back into something, and I'd do this, and I'd create this, and I'd da da da. They're the ones you want in your employment. Don't hire on desperation people who go,
I'd be out of here. I'd be out of here. Bye.
I'll be out of here. If I gave you $1 million now to take a year off, or to, that. So inspired people around you, and sharing that unique gifts. When you're inspired, you gel with more inspired people.
Yeah.
When you're deflated, you attract more deflation. You when you're moaning about something, people come in to validate your BS story. People come in and they say, "Oh, I've got the same problem with them," and then you thrive on that and all that, and it's like, no, you don't need people to validate your story.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have the right people around. But the $1 million question is a great one if you're looking at employing somebody. If somebody says that, because they go, if you've got someone in an interview and you say, if I was to give you that money, and they go, you know what, I would just invest it. I would sit on the investment, but I'd still be here, and I'll be able to go, here's some problems I could solve, and da-da-da. Then you're going to employ somebody because they're more inspired to be alive and kicking.
Well, because they're wanting to share their expertise.
Yeah, definitely.
I love that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But because that is then, even that speaks of that confidence. I'm not here for you to give me the $1 million. That'd be an added bonus for sure. But right,
Yeah.
it's being
of service,
being
of
of
value.
service, and knowing that you're of value.
Yeah. And that's not saying having $1 million and traveling isn't of service and value. If you're going to share it with people and talk about it and do a podcast and this like that, that's great. That's being of value to other people and not just yourself. But the $1 million question does make you go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
To have around you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. I like that. But I mean, so then on the flip side though too, is that when we know that we've accessed our gift, actually this is a conversation that my husband and I have sometimes, because he's semi-retired, when he will look at me and he says, "You're never going to retire." Me.
What does semi-retired mean? What can I just say? Because someone said to me the other day, they said, "You must be retired by now." I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "What did you do today?" And I was like, "Oh, today I went and got my nails done. I went and did this." And they're like, "That's retirement." And I'm like, "No, that's part of my life." Like, you're partly retired. I'm like, "No." Like, you just show up on camera once a week, or what? Well, I do a lot more than that. But it's funny because I'm so. What is semi-retired? What
Well,
is
because he
semi-retired?
does have a part-time contract, so he does actually have to show up
What he does.
online.
Yeah.
Yes, but he can decide that at 3 o'clock in the morning, oh, I'll get up and take care of that.
Yeah.
Or he can say, just I'm not feeling it today, so I'm gonna do it next week.
Well, then I'm semi-retired. I'm 100% like that. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna write that program I said I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just, cultivate it in my mind another 24 hours. Yeah, okay.
But the reason I was bringing that up is that because I don't know that there's ever one day that goes by where I'm not answering an email or checking a feedback form or checking a social media post and making sure that things are all in line or writing an article or things of that nature. So it's always there, but it's
Yeah.
because I love it. It's actually, and that's what his feedback is to me. It's that it's because I'm in flow and I'm doing what I absolutely love.
And the moment it's not,
Yeah.
and the moment it gets too hard or challenging, or you feel like you're hitting a brick wall, then stop and reflect. You don't have to let it go, but just stop and reflect.
Yeah.
Take that and go, am I on track again? Or are these complications new and fresh? Have I missed this? Reflect on that. I couldn't imagine doing anything else than doing what I'm doing.
Me
I
too.
mean,
Yeah.
imagine not taking a client's call and who's hysterical because something's happened. And, sometimes even in 5 minutes, it's already shifted, it's already started. 15 minutes, they're in tears of gratitude for that was so horrific. I
Mhm.
couldn't imagine not doing that. Like, I think it would be such a boring life. Like, I love it. I love it. And you're right. That's exactly it. You love, and so, if he chooses to get up at 3 a.m., he's obviously inspired about that. Like, I'll just do that. And then the next day it's like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't have to do it.
Mhm.
Like, picking and choosing your life, your world, and that's confidently sharing you. Choose you.
Yeah.
Choose you.
Yes. Because this is something that's very, very important too, is that it's so important to have your own. I talk a lot about sacred self-care. And to
Mhm.
me, sacred self-care is that you must have you at the very top of your own priority list. So,
Yeah.
we do our PEMS checking in with our physical, emotional, mental, spiritual well-being. That to me is as an essential component to starting each and every single day. In order to be that vehicle or that vessel or that being that not only is completely 100% aware of your unique gifts and your talents and your calling and confidently sharing it, but you still need to invest in yourself with the respect and the kindness and the love, because it's a flow, right? This is going to keep going. So, yeah, you at the top of your priority list.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love that, and I love the wording sacred self-care. And Moira's
Me
probably told
too.
me that many times, and
I have.
I've heard it. Of course she would, but today I went, oh, sacred self-care. That's a great way of summing up. Today I choose to do this.
Mhm.
Today I choose not to go down the road today, or whatever it is. Today I choose you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and when I say sacred self-care, I'm putting every piece of self-care in there, because you are a sacred being. So everything that you do to take care of your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being, it's sacred.
And I just want to add into that, it is, and I'm just gonna add that be aware of other people's emotional charges towards you, jealousy.
Mhm.
Because like, one of the things I do is once a week I go to a hairdresser who washes and blow dries my hair.
Mhm.
And then I go on camera for half a day afterwards. But the amount of people I say that to, and I don't even think about it, I just say it, oh, yeah, I'm off to the hairdresser today, or I can't do that, da, da, da. They're like, what? You go to a hairdresser every week? Oh, you must be a pampered princess. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, I would say thanks very much.
Yeah,
I
and
am. Thank you.
I'll own that. Yep. But I think being able to confidently share your unique gifts is being able to have that given to you and just send it away.
Yeah.
Type
Just
thing.
acknowledge
Because
it. Just acknowledge it. And
it's not mine to hold on to. Yeah.
well, that's something I've often said is other people's opinion of you is none of your business anyway. So carry
Yeah.
on. Carry on. This has been a really good conversation. And as oftentimes when we have these, this has gone kind of differently to what I thought it might. Mind you, I don't really know what I did think it was going to be like. So there you go.
Well, we're clearly confidently sharing our unique gifts by showing up and going, what are we talking about today? We're
Yeah,
talking
here
about
we
the
go.
Here we go. Let's go. Hit record. Bang. Got the timer. Yep. And away we go.
Yep. This has been an excellent conversation, though. I love the tips and ideas that's come up. So, dear listeners, if you didn't have your note-taking device out, we encourage you to grab it now, your pen, pencil, or electronic device, because we did come up with a number of tips and we're going to rattle through them. We're going to rattle through them before we lovingly send you off till our next episode. So, confidently sharing your unique gift. Deb, why don't you kick us off with what's the first tip you have?
Well, I've got a lot of words for the first tip. I just have to say, I was like, please, Moira, you start. But anyway, so I've got own, acknowledge, appreciate your gifts, open your eyes, share with love, and know thyself. It's all jumped into that one huge
Yep. Own that
thing.
you do have unique gifts. Yeah.
Own it, acknowledge it, appreciate your gifts, keep your eyes open to see those, and then share them with love and know yourself.
Yeah. Love it. Great way to start us off with that.
Boom. That was the most certainty I had then. It's like, here we go. Boom, 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 boom.
Done it. Very
Yeah.
good. The next one. So actually I taking on that acknowledge piece though too, my tip was to watch what people tell you you're good at. Because if you need to have a little bit more confidence or a little bit more insight into what your unique talents or gifts are, that when people say, oh, you're so good at this, or I love it when you do this, those are our little detective tips, clues on what your gifts are, because they're being acknowledged for you.
Yeah.
Right?
I love that.
Mhm.
I've got down here, I think I've missed one. I don't know. The other thing I've written down was be okay to share other people's gifts if it's not yours. If it's not yours, just go, oh, that's not me, but
Right.
my mum can help you. That's for
Yeah.
Sophie. But like be okay actually sharing other people's gifts. Oh God, that's not my thing.
Mhm.
Talk to Moira. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, that's me. Or wow, that's a great one you're gonna have to work through. Let me share somebody who I think would add value to your world. So you don't have to take on everything.
Yeah. Well, just because somebody asks you something doesn't mean you're the one that has to give that answer.
So share, don't be afraid of sharing other people's gifts.
No, I like that, because that the next tip that I have here is an important piece on that, because the thing is that when we're in flow and we say, oh, I'm not good at that, but this person is, it allows us to be freed up to continue sharing what we are wanting to share, right? Because the
freeze up.
freeze up. Yes.
Balloons coming up on my thing now. It frees us up to
Yes.
do things inspiring. Like people get that. This frees us up. We want to have more time and more inspiration in our lives. This
To
just
share the gift. Mhm.
Get explosion.
Yep. So the tip that I had here along those lines was that our gifts and our talents come easily and naturally. So sometimes that, and that's where we were both talking about examples of, oh, but this is so easy. Like, doesn't everybody do this? Doesn't, and it actually no. So, right?
It is, yeah, it is. Well, the one, yeah, they do flow in, aren't they? Interesting, because I've got this one. I think I missed one, so I don't know if that was one. Is own in your own form or
Yep.
flavor,
Mhm.
and that is see that people are creative. in the painting of the picture, but just go, where are you creative, Deborah? Where are you
Yeah.
creative, Moira? Where are you creative, listener? Like, find that, and then you'll know that, okay, well, I'm creative in my business.
Yeah.
I can think of something and like a boom, 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 boom. So I can go, well, that's where I am. And that's what inspires me. You'll notice that the things that it's in your form or flavor is the things that inspire you.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the
And
tip where we were saying to respect it, right?
yeah,
Because you respect it. Yeah, that's when you know you found your form or your flavor. I
yeah.
like that. The next one I had was to find your flow. Because by finding your flow, so if you find, oh, okay, I know I've accessed the thing that comes naturally to me, you know, as another example, I used to say, well, that's just common sense, isn't it? Somebody would ask me something and I'd say, oh, well, it's just this. This is the answer. Isn't that just common sense? But then, in fact, my husband
Love
used to
that
do that.
common sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Common sense isn't that common anymore. I don't know that it ever has been.
I had someone who sat at my house for 3 weeks with my dog, and I came home and there was mail overflowing in the letterbox.
Oh,
Now she walked past my mail every day, but did not think. I remember. So when I go to common sense, I go, I remember that. And I said to her, did you not think to take the mail out? And she's like, oh, I saw it there every day. No. She said, no. I'm like, so you saw it, you acknowledged it every day, you saw it, but
and then
not
didn't
once
take it.
to bring it inside. And she went, no. Like, she looked at me like I was stupid. I still remember that. So when you say that word common sense, I want to say common sense is
It's certainly
just,
not that common.
it's not
I
on the
don't say
forefront.
that anymore. I'm just chuckling about how I used to. I don't say that anymore.
When you said that word, I went, I remembered having a conversation with myself, like, why would she not think to clear the letterbox? Like, it's overflowing. People can see. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was when we say
the
common
reason
sense,
you're
I go
here.
back to that. She did not even contact. She goes, I saw it.
That's funny.
It's great. You saw it.
I saw
But
it.
yeah.
So what I was saying was about finding your flow, whether it's common or uncommon wisdom. That in
Yeah.
itself builds confidence because you're aligned with, and it actually helps inform a sense of certainty also, right?
Mm.
Does the certainty? I had certainty in two tips
Yeah,
here.
I've got certainty. Yeah, I've got certainty in that one. Find flow, certainty, and then the next one I've got certainty. And I'm like, okay. And well, my tip was going to be about the certainty. And when you're so certain, others don't interfere.
Yeah.
But I am going to add, there's a difference between certainty and certainty. And you're left with how?
What?
I know, there's a certainty that sits in your ego, and it's also known as an a-hole. There's that certainty, and then there's certainty in your heart.
Mhm.
And I know with certainty in my heart, I can resolve your problem. I know that with that. My ego is not telling me I have certainty. I can resolve that, because when you're sitting in your ego brain, you are going to get people who are going to interfere and question your certainty. But that's where you're going to get your experiences that are going to humble you. Let's
Right.
put it that way.
Yep.
So my certainty, when you put your certainty in your heart, it has a different level of certainty than certainty in your ego brain.
Head, in your thinking head. I totally get that. The other piece that I think grows certainty, and I had it actually tied to this, was my tip was to be wary of any type of people-pleasing tendency or seeking the approval of others. So if we are,
Obligate as well.
that's a good point to put in there too. To really if those types of feelings come up, I think it's a little tap on your shoulder to say, where am I coming from? Because when I'm coming from an awareness of my unique gifts, of my heart energy, then I'm not going to come with a sense of obligation or even be thinking, oh, what's that person going to say or think about me? Right?
Yeah.
Or, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I have to put this person's needs or desires above what I am here to serve or offer.
People pleasing is a soul destroyer.
Yeah, it is.
Let me just put that right out there as nice as I can push it. put it, is people pleasing is a soul destroyer.
Mhm.
It doesn't lift you up. It doesn't fulfill you. You run a marathon of crazy in your head when
Well,
you're
it's an
people.
energy drain, complete
It's
energy drain. Absolutely.
yeah, and it takes you away from what you're inspired about doing.
Mhm.
I
Yep.
think that we're
Yep.
just going to.
Yep.
So I've got a gap.
Oh.
And then I've got past stories. So have I missed something if I go into the past stories?
No,
No.
past stories is the next one I had.
I'm like, so past stories is be aware of your past stories that and I talked about my softball,
Mhm.
but Moira beautifully brought me back to that, so I could read the play in softball.
Yeah.
And Moira said, but you've still got that. It's just evolution, it's changed.
Yeah.
You've still got that. You can read the play, but it's just not on a softball pitch.
Mhm.
And the truth is, I probably sit there and I could read the play, but I wouldn't be able to do that and being sitting in the squatting. Squatting is my problem. If you can hear it right now, I'm like trying to get up off the squatting. That's just a nightmare. But be aware of your past stories of who you were when you were 20, and if you're 50 now, be aware of those and don't hold on to them. Just go, okay, well, that's who I was then.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is who I am.
It's about respecting and valuing your own evolution, but also
Yeah.
being able to see, and that's what I said to you when we were talking about that, was the thread. There is always a thread that connects the dots, right?
Yeah.
It shows up in a different flavor or a different form.
Yeah.
The next one that I had here was, I had said, if you weren't being paid, would you do it? And that's when you brought in that intriguing question
$1
of,
million question.
if
I'll
I
tell
give
you
you $1
what,
million.
and you can just see the panel like, oh no, Deborah's asking that question. Like we all get told what we have to say when we get in there, and I'm like, I'm going to do my own question. I don't need HR to tell me the question I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask the same one, and literally we're going to have time back because I know this person's going to say this, and it's a waste of our time interviewing them, getting their hopes up, getting our hopes up, and then hiring on desperation. That's it.
Right.
$1 million question. Yeah.
Yep. And that actually is a unique gift in itself. Is just saying, I know I've been told this, but I'm going to do this.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Sure, they didn't think that at the time.
Probably not.
And they knew they had to have me on the interview panel because of who I was. Much to that, they were probably like, oh no, it's Deborah again. Oh, we know she's a wild card. She's going to go on a tangent. We know that. We just got to go with her. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. You know, the next one I have here is to make sure that you are at the top of your priority list. That's when I talked about my sacred self-care.
Yeah.
Such an important part. This is one of the best ways to confidently share and show up as your unique, authentic, beautiful, powerful self. Right?
Yeah. I love that. To confidently share your unique gifts. And that's choose you.
Yeah.
Like choose you.
Yeah, that's right. Choose you.
And I've got one here. This is the last one I did to you. And I've got other people's business. And Moira said it, but I wrote other people's business isn't of value to you. So I couldn't remember what she actually said after that. But when other people's perception of you. So what was the word?
I said other people's opinion are none of your business. Other people's opinion of you are none of your business.
Yeah.
But that came from, you said, be aware of others' opinions of you. Because you were talking about that, because I think you were talking about jealousy. You were talking about you going to the hairdresser.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Because I started writing and then I stopped mid-sentence.
Because you released it.
Yeah. Because people have an opinion on me going to the hairdresser weekly.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Let them
Actually, it's funny because my mum does go if I go and see my mum. She lives out of town and it's a flight, and mum and dad, and I'll go there. And mum goes, now, do you need me to make a hair appointment while you're down here? I love that she does that. So she's finally, after I don't know how many years, she's finally like, okay, Deborah's going to get her hair done. I know she did get it done on a particular day. You know, do you need me to make a hair appointment while you're down? No, I'm good,
awesome.
mum.
That's
I've already
awesome.
done.
Love that.
but so other people entertain my unique gift, but
You're-
also
yeah.
other people can take your unique gift away from you if you let them chew into your mind.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, don't
Yeah, just don't do that.
do that. Cancel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, dear listeners, this has been a good conversation. I love this. Confidently sharing your unique gifts. It's such a pleasure to have these conversations and bring all these tips together.
With goodies.
Yes. So as we start to bring this episode to a close, we trust that you feel and own, dear listeners, we really trust that you are claiming and standing in your power and sharing your unique gifts. And if you need some more guidance or support, inspiration to confidently share your unique gifts, do make sure that you reach out. Reach out to myself or to Deb or to both of us, or to reach out to your tribe, to people who can help you access and acknowledge your unique gifts. It's actually your responsibility to do so. That's what this game of life is all about. It requires and requests and actually demands that we all do this collectively. So that's why this is such an important topic, confidently sharing your unique gifts. So before we wrap everything up, we are going to check back in with our PEMS check-in, our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And we started off with a number, and we trust that you wrote your number down, dear listeners. We'd love to hear where you are at the beginning of the conversation and where you're feeling now. I was at a 1.5 and Deb was at a 1. Where were you at now, my dear?
I'm going to say a 0, but I'd
Very good.
also like to say I got a little bit emotional just hearing Moira wrap that up. We are here on this planet to do something significant.
Yeah.
We are here to make an impact, no matter what impact that is. But, and that's, yeah, I just got to, I'm here to make an impact. So's Moira. So is everybody here who's listening.
Yeah.
Go out and do something. Frickin' share your gifts. Go out, face the world. Forget what's being thrown at you. Go out and choose you and be you with your heart. You're only here in one life. Don't waste it. Don't waste it. I just want to say that. Don't just wake the up and do something with your life.
Show up, step up. Yeah.
With confidence. I just have to emphasize that because I started getting a little teary, and I'm go do you. Go do something with what your world is. And I'm a 0.
Awesome. I love that. I'm a 0 too, even with Deb's wee rant there. But no, it's so true. It's time. It's time. Dear listeners, it is time. It's time for all of us collectively to step up, to really own and use your voice, use your talents, your gifts. That's what this world needs.
Yeah.
And so your next steps, listeners, if this woke you up or if this inspired you, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear what your gifts are, but we'd also encourage you to share this episode with people that you know maybe are playing a wee bit small, or that you would like to inspire and to help them evolve and open up to their unique gifts. So share the episode. And like I said, if you're feeling stuck or questioning, reach out to us. We are here. We are following our passion and our purpose. And if we can be of service.
Couldn't imagine it being anything else.
Absolutely.
That's we're here. And you just said being of service to others. So,
absolutely. So this is us, Debz and Moira, with our deliciously motivated mindset podcast conversation, signing off for another episode. Much love to you, dear listeners. We'll be back with you for our next chat. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.